gentlemen, my Second Amendment rights have been curtailed once again by my lovely Governor Jay Inslee, who thought it was a good idea to add more gun control to this state about 4 days ago. But then again, it's on par of the course of a blue state such as Washington, which has basically now become the miniature version of California. California 2.0, electric boogaloo, boys and girls. But seriously, just recently with this a new bill, and there are actually 3 new bills within the state in regards to gun control, or what the left likes to call common sense gun control, which is honestly it's pretty much bullshit, by the way. It has made Washington added, along with 9 other states, of having an assault weapons ban, which is basically what gun control advocates saying that these kinds of firearms, basically semi-automatic rifles, they consider them to be military grade, and you cannot import them, you cannot manufacture them, you cannot purchase them within this state. You can still own them if you had acquired them before this bill came into effect, it was passed, but you cannot manufacture them, you cannot import them, and you cannot purchase them in the state. It's so ridiculous. But again, like I said before, it's on par of the course for the state of Washington. The other 2 were to somehow hold the gun industry liable, in their words, not mine, for potential shootings that could occur, despite the fact that those firearms are not, they're no longer their own products, and they were probably even legally sold, or then again, they could have been stolen. I don't know. I'm just putting that out there. And finally, Jay Inslee decided to extend the waiting period in order to acquire a firearm through purchasing to 10 days, and of course, you need a safety course requirement. So, yay, wonderful. This is such a great thing. There's probably going to be something that this will probably help with the issue of gun violence plaguing this country. In reality, it's not going to. And don't take it from my word. Take it from Jay Inslee himself. I have right up here on my own computer the Associated Press News that actually has this. And it was actually talking about a recent challenge which this new law is going to be facing, and that's the good news, by the way. I will get a little bit into that in this video. Washington Governor Jay Inslee signed a trio of bills meant to address gun violence Tuesday, one banning the sale of certain semi-automatic rifles, one imposing a 10-day waiting period on firearms purchases, and one clearing the way for lawsuits against gun makers or sellers in certain cases. A crowd of gun control activists and Democratic lawyers broke into cheers as Inslee signed the measures, which he said would not solve all gun violence but would save lives. But it gets better. This is his quote. Just because they don't solve all the problems does not mean the state of Washington does not take action. Jay Inslee said, inaction against gun violence is unacceptable. Congratulations, Jay Inslee. You just demolished your own gun control argument, somehow saying that it will save lives, and yet, by your own words, this will not, and I quote, don't solve all the problems. And, gee, I wonder why they are making these gun control laws. I know it's a rhetorical question. It's obviously meant to curtail the rights of average day civilians who are following the law. I mean, after all, do you honestly think that a criminal is going to follow the law? That's the very definition. A criminal does not follow the law. They break the law. I find it funny that it's somehow a foreign concept to that. But the good news is that thankfully there is a challenge to this rule. Although it'll be a very long, in my honest prediction, it'll be a long time before this may be overturned. It could go to the Supreme Court. And the reason why I think that this will definitely die at some point, either like at the Ninth Circuit or something like that, or even at the very top, the Supreme Court, is because of the recent Bruen decision, where Clarence Thomas and the Supreme Court made the opinion of the historical precedence of gun laws in this country, stretching all the way back to the 1700s. And keep in mind that the idea of an assault weapons ban is pretty recent in terms of gun history in the United States. The closest that you can get to would be maybe in the 60s, if I remember correctly, in the state of California, where they had basically something like this of a semi-automatic rifle ban. It could have been either in the 60s or the 80s, but it does not matter. What does matter is this is pretty recent. There is no true historical precedence behind this. Now, I admit that I honestly expect that a lot of lower-ranking judges would think that this would be completely fine. In fact, very recently, a federal judge, a federal district judge, I believe, in Illinois, decided that there won't be an injunction in regards to the lawsuit against the assault weapons ban that's currently happening in the state of Illinois. Where it's basically their opinion was basically that it's the government has the sole purpose and responsibility of safeguarding its citizens. And somehow they don't see this as a major Second Amendment issue. Hell, don't you think that this seems to be those one of those arguments about wanting more security at the expense of your liberty? In fact, I recall the saying of Benjamin Franklin: "Those who give up their liberty for a little bit of temporary security deserve neither and lose both." Well, yeah, that was the argument of that one federal judge. But it's not over. It's absolutely not over. And there's a major trend that's going on that further shows me being right on this, because already America is a constitutional carry majority country. Just recently, 2 states, Florida and Nebraska, have become constitutional carry states. And my prediction was wrong, thinking that it was North Carolina that would be the 26th state. Oh well. But I still think that they will become a constitutional carry state at some point. I expect the South will fully, with the exception of maybe Virginia, of course. But for the at least the time being. But nonetheless, the trend is there. The momentum for gun rights is there. The Supreme Court's projection on gun rights is there. At some point, this law will be struck down, and it's going to have an effect all across the land. California, Hawaii, Illinois, even my state of Washington. At least in the case of specifically the assault weapons ban is on a ticking clock. It's going to die at some point. I guarantee you 100% that will happen. And no amount of whining, no amount of this argument about how it supposedly saves lives, even though by the governor's own admission, it will not change that. Gun rights will continue to go forward in this country. In the coming years, over time. My name is Noah Meehan of The Arc Truth. Please post your comments down below, like this video, subscribe, share for friends. Also, if you have any issues regarding my videos, such as how I speak, improvements, whatever, please post it in the comment section down below or directly message me. Thank you.
Almost heaven.